One of the reasons you have difficulty understanding native speakers, or you're not able to interact with them or communicate with them productively, or one of the reasons lying behind your weak listening skills is your lack of knowledge of native English idioms, your lack of knowledge of natural English idioms. In other words, the problem is with the fact that you've only learned textbook English. So one reason for your poor listening skills is your textbook English. And in today's video, what I want to do is help you learn a couple of English expressions and idioms that can help you avoid sounding like a textbook. So let's get started. The first English expression used by native speakers that can enable you to avoid sounding like a textbook is something melts in your mouth. Something melts in your mouth. Something melts in your mouth is used to describe a food that is delicious, to describe the taste of a food that you find pleasant. In other words, when you say a certain type of food or something melts in your mouth, it means something is so delicious to you. You find something extremely soft or extremely delicious. In other words, you find something extremely pleasant to eat. Something provides you with a lot of pleasure when you eat it. An example of this expression: this chocolate cake is so soft and rich, it just melts in your mouth. This chocolate cake is soft and rich, it just melts in your mouth, which means this chocolate cake is soft and rich. It is really delicious when you eat it. You find it really delicious and pleasant when you eat it. Eating it is so pleasurable because it's extremely delicious. Now we're getting to the second English expression that you can use to avoid sounding like a textbook and make your English conversation more similar to that of native speakers, which is to get lost in thought. To get lost in thought. To get lost in thought. When you get lost in thought, what happens is you start thinking deeply and profoundly about something. You start thinking about something so much that you fail to pay attention to other things. In other words, you're preoccupied with something. You're busy thinking about something in a way that you fail to pay attention to other things. You lose your concentration on other things. Let me give you an example of this expression. She didn't hear me calling her because she got lost in thought, staring at the sky. She didn't hear me calling her because she got lost in thought, staring at the sky, which means when I was calling her, she didn't hear me because she was thinking deeply and profoundly about something. You know, she'd been drowned in the world of her thoughts, and she was so busy thinking that she failed to pay attention to other things, and she was not focused on anything else other than whatever it was that she was thinking about, so she couldn't hear me when I was calling her. She got lost in thought. She was deeply thinking about whatever it was in her mind that she was thinking about. Now we're getting to the third English phrase that you can use to avoid sounding like a textbook and to speak more naturally, which is to go by the name of something. To go by the name of something. When we say something goes by the name of something, it means it is referred to by a certain name, or it is called a certain name, or it is known by people by a certain name. In other words, when you say something goes by the name of, let's say, A, it means something is called A. People know something as A. People know something by the name of A. So to go by the name of something means to be known by a certain name, to be referred to by using a certain name. An example of this expression: he goes by the name of Max in the music industry, but his real name is Matthew. He goes by the name of Max in the music industry, but his real name is Matthew, which means in the music industry, in the world of music, people know him by the name of Max, but his real and actual name is not Max, it is Matthew. He's just called Max in the world of music, in the music industry. That's the name that people know him by, but his actual name is Matthew. Now we're getting to the next English phrase used by native speakers that you need to learn too. Why? In order to avoid sounding like a textbook, which is to hit an all-time high or low. To hit an all-time high or low. Once again, to hit an all-time high or low. When something hits an all-time high or low, it reaches the highest or the lowest possible amount or level ever recorded. Once again, when something hits an all-time low, it reaches the highest possible amount or level ever recorded. Or when something hits an all-time low, it reaches the lowest possible amount or level ever recorded. An example of this expression: unemployment rates have hit an all-time low this year. Unemployment rates have hit an all-time low this year. Unemployment rates have hit an all-time low this year, which means unemployment rates have reached the lowest possible level or amount this year. On the other hand, we could say unemployment rates have hit an all-time high this year, which means unemployment rates have reached the highest possible amount or level this year. And now we're getting to the fifth English phrase of today's video. In other words, the final phrase of today's video that you need to learn and use to make your English conversations more similar to those of native speakers and do your best to avoid sounding like a textbook, which is to let the dust settle. To let the dust settle. Once again, to let the dust settle. When you let the dust settle, what you do is wait for a situation to get better, to improve a little bit, to become more clear before making a decision, before taking action. So when you let the dust settle, what you do is wait for a situation to improve or to get better before taking action, before making an important decision, before doing something. An example of this expression: let's wait a few days and let the dust settle before we talk to her again. Let's wait a few days and let the dust settle before we talk to her again. Once again, let's wait a few days and let the dust settle before we talk to her again, which means let's wait a few days, please be patient, let's wait a few days, let's give it a few days and let the dust settle. Let the situation improve on its own, get better on its own, or get more clear before talking to her again, before doing something, before taking action. That's about all, guys. Thank you for watching today's video. You learned 5 English expressions and idioms that you can use to avoid sounding like a textbook and to speak a more advanced English. Let's review these phrases once again together. Something melts in your mouth. Something melts in your mouth. To get lost in thought. To get lost in thought. To go by the name of something. To go by the name of something. To hit an all-time high. To hit an all-time high, or to hit an all-time low. To hit an all-time low. To let the dust settle. To let the dust settle. Thank you for watching today's video. Make sure you like this video in support of this channel and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll be back soon with another video. I know you know what the meaning of the word pick is and how it is used, but in today's video, we're going to be reviewing all the idioms and phrases with the word pick that you gotta learn that can help you speak a more advanced English. Are you ready? Of course you are. So let's get started. The first English phrase with the word pick is to pick your teeth. To pick your teeth. When you pick your teeth, you try to clean your teeth by removing bits of food or any remainings of food from between your teeth by flossing them or by using a toothpick, or any similar tool. An example of this phrase: it is considered rude to pick your teeth at the dinner table in many cultures. It is considered rude to pick your teeth at the dinner table in many cultures, which means it is considered rude to start cleaning your teeth by removing bits of food or the remainings of food from between your teeth by flossing them or by using a toothpick or any similar tool at the dinner table in many cultures. Have you ever seen someone pick their teeth at the dinner table or while eating food? How did you feel when you saw them do that? And are you someone who normally does that when you go to a party or when you're having food with other people? Comment the answers down below to use this idiomatic expression in your sentences, not only to practice it, but also to get used to using it. Now we're getting to the second phrase with the word pick that you gotta learn, which is to pick your nose. To pick your nose. To pick your nose. When you pick your nose, you try to finger your nose with the purpose of cleaning it, or you try to use your finger to clean mucus from your nose, or you try to put your finger into your nose with the purpose of cleaning it, with the purpose of cleaning your nostrils. So that's the meaning of pick your nose. An example of this phrase: the child was criticized for picking his nose in public. The child was criticized for picking his nose in public, which means the child was criticized for using his finger to clean his nose in public, or was criticized because of fingering his nostrils or fingering his nose with the purpose of cleaning it. Have you ever done it yourself? When was the last time that you did it? And how was other people's reaction when they saw you do it? Comment the answers down below in the comment section. Now we're getting to the third English phrase that you can learn and also use containing the word pick, which is to pick someone's brains. To pick someone's brains. When you pick someone's brains, you ask someone questions about something, or you ask someone for information. You ask someone about something. Let's say you ask someone for advice about something. You ask someone for information about something because you believe they're knowledgeable and you want to take advantage of their knowledge. So to pick someone's brains is another way of saying that you ask someone for information, for, let's say, advice on something because you believe they're knowledgeable and they can provide you with important information about something, or you can take advantage of their knowledge. An example of this phrase: I want to pick your brains about how you prepared for the job interview. I want to pick your brains about how you prepared for the job interview, which means I want to ask you for some advice on how you prepared for the job interview. In other words, I want to ask you about how you prepared for the job interview because I believe you're knowledgeable. You've done this before and you know about it more than I do. So I can take advantage of your knowledge and the experience that you gained by doing it. Now we're getting to the next English phrase with the word pick that you got to learn, which is to pick a lock. To pick a lock. To pick a lock. When you pick a lock, you try to open a lock without using its typical keys or without using the keys normally used to open it, usually by using other objects, tools, or devices, and usually done secretly and illegally. So when someone picks a lock, what they try to do is open a lock without using its normal keys, usually illegally and secretly, by using some other devices, tools, or objects. An example of this phrase: he learned how to pick a lock when he locked himself out of the house. He learned how to pick a lock when he locked himself out of the house, which means he learned how to open the lock without using the keys, by using other objects, tools, or devices, usually, I don't know, secretly or in a way that is not normally done, whenever he's locked out of the house. What about you? Do you know how to pick a lock? Do you normally pick locks when you're locked in a place or when you're locked out of a place, when you're locked in your house or out of your house? Comment the answers down below in the comment section. The next English phrase with the word pick is to pick someone's pocket. To pick someone's pocket. When you pick someone's pocket, you steal money from someone's pocket, or you steal something from someone's pocket without them noticing it or without them realizing it. So when someone picks your pocket, they steal things from your pocket. They steal money from your pocket. They may steal, let's say, keys or even other objects other than money from your pockets without you noticing it or without you realizing that something has been stolen from your pockets. An example of this phrase: a tourist had his wallet stolen by a man who picked his pocket on the train. A tourist had his wallet stolen by a man who picked his pocket on the train. Once again, a tourist had his wallet stolen by a man who picked his pocket on the train, which means a tourist had his wallet stolen by a man who picked his pocket, by a man who stole his wallet from his pockets. What about you? Have you ever had your pockets picked? Or has anyone ever picked your pockets? Or has anyone ever stolen something from you in the form of picking your pocket? I want you to comment the answers down below in the comment section. Not only to share the answer with me, but also practice this expression and also use this expression with the purpose of gaining a better understanding of it. The next English phrase with the word pick is to pick something clean. To pick something clean. To pick something clean means to remove all the valuable, useful, and important parts of something in a way that you leave nothing behind and you leave nothing else, and you completely make it useless. So to leave something clean. An example of this phrase: the thieves picked the house clean within hours. The thieves picked the house clean within hours, which means the thieves removed all the important, valuable, and useful parts of the house in a way that they left nothing behind within hours. And now we're getting to the final phrase of today's video with the word pick that you need to learn, which is to have a bone to pick with someone. To have a bone to pick with someone. When you have a bone to pick with someone, you want to discuss something with someone. You have a problem or an issue with someone which you want to discuss, or you want to have an argument with someone about something, or you are willing and likely, or you are interested in arguing with someone. When you have a bone to pick with someone, you have a problem or an issue with someone that you like to discuss, or you are willing to have an argument with someone about something, or you like to argue with someone about something because you have an issue or a problem with them, or there is something between you and that person that is getting on the wrong side of you, getting on your nerves or annoying you. In other words, you have something against someone and you like to argue with them in order to tell them that you're angry, or to tell them that you're upset, or to show them that you are angry with them. An example of this phrase: I have a bone to pick with you. You never returned my book. I have a bone to pick with you. You never returned my book, which means I have a problem with you. I have an issue with you to discuss, which is the fact that you never returned my book. There's something that I want to talk to you about, or I want to argue with you about my book because you never returned it to me. What about you? Have you ever had a bone to pick with someone? Why did you have a bone to pick with them, and why did you argue with them about? I want you to comment the answers down below in the comment section. And that's about all, guys. Thank you for watching today's video. In today's video, we discussed 7 practical English phrases with the word pick that you can learn and also use in your speech to take your conversations to the next level and make them sound more advanced. Let's review these phrases once again together. To pick your teeth. To pick your teeth. To pick your nose. To pick your nose. To pick someone's brains. To pick someone's brains. To pick a lock. To pick a lock. To pick someone's pocket. To pick someone's pocket. To pick something clean. To pick something clean. To have a bone to pick with someone. To have a bone to pick with someone. Thank you for watching today's video. Make sure you like this video in support of this channel and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll be back soon with another video. Whenever you go to a place and you want to emphasize that that place in which you are is full of people or things in a way that there is not enough space or room for anyone or anything else, instead of saying, hey, there is no space for, let's say, something, there is no space for other things because the place in which we are is full of people or things, instead of saying, hey, this place is full of people or things, or instead of saying, hey, there's not enough space or room for, I don't know, something else, you can use the following idiomatic expressions that we're going to be focusing on in today's video. So let's get to them. The first English idiom that you can use to say that a place is full of people or things, or there's not enough space in something, or there's literally no space in something is, there's not enough room to swing a cat. There is not enough room to swing a cat. Once again, there's not enough room to swing a cat. When you say there's not enough room to swing a cat, it means a place is full of things or people, and there is no empty space for other things. There is no space for other things to be placed in that specific place. Or that place or thing that you're talking about has no other room or has no other space for other objects, other things, or people. An example of this phrase: his apartment is tiny, there is not enough room to swing a cat. His apartment is tiny, there is not enough room to swing a cat. Which means his apartment is too small, like too little. It's not a spacious one. It is not the one that offers you a lot of space. His apartment is tiny and very small, and there's not enough room to swing a cat. In other words, there is no space for other things or for people. The next English idiom is to be packed like sardines. To be packed like sardines. When we say that Something is packed like sardines. It means people or things in a certain place are standing at a very close distance to each other in a way that the distance is too little, or the distance is, so close that there's not enough room or space for other things or other objects or for other people. So in that sense, we can say something is packed like sardines. Let me give you an example of to be packed like sardines. The train was packed like sardines. The train was packed like sardines. The plane was packed like sardines, which means the plane was full of people, was full of things. There was not enough space or room in the train. The train was full of people. It was packed like sardines. The next English idiom that you can use to emphasize that a place is full of people or things, or there's not enough room or space in a certain place because it is full of people or things, is to be bursting at the seams. To be bursting at the seams. To be bursting at the seams. When we say that a place is bursting at the seams, or something is bursting at the seams, what we mean is something is full of people or things. Something is full of objects, and it is not capable of offering any other empty space to other things, and there's no possibility of allocating space to other things or objects or people. Let me give you an example. After the explosion, the hospital was bursting at the seams. After the explosion, the hospital was bursting at the seams with patients. After the explosion, the hospital was bursting at the seams with patients, which means after the explosion, the hospital was full of people, was full of patients, and did not have enough space for other people because it had been filled with lots of people, lots of patients injured as a result of the explosion. So after the explosion, the hospital was bursting at the seams. The next English expression that you can use to emphasize that there's not enough space or room in something, or something has no room or space, is to be a standing room only. To be a standing room only. To be a standing room only. When we say it is a standing room only, what we mean is that a place is crowded and is, full of people or things in a way that, there's only enough space to stand, and there's not enough room to maneuver, to move around, and the place does not have any, space or room to offer to people or things. Long story short, the place is crowded and there are lots of people inside it. An example of this phrase: the concert was so crowded, it was a standing room only. The concert was so crowded, it was a standing room only. The concert was so crowded, it was a standing room only, which means the concert was so crowded, there was only enough space to stay stood. There was not enough space to move around, for extra maneuverability, which means there was no room to maneuver, to move around. There was only enough space to stay stood, or to stand upright. And you could not even sit. There was no space in the venue allocated to the concert. The concert was crowded and it was standing room only. The next English expression that you can use to emphasize that a place is crowded and there is not enough space in it, or there is not enough room in it as a result of it being full of people or things, is to be chock-a-block. To be chock-a-block. To be chock-a-block. When we say a place is chock-a-block, it means that place is full of people or things. That place doesn't have any space or room in it. An example of this expression: the street was chock-a-block with traffic. The street was chock-a-block with traffic, which means the street was full of traffic. There was not enough space or room on the street because it was full of cars. There were so many cars on the street and it was chock-a-block. The next English expression is to be jam-packed with something. To be jam-packed with something. When one thing is jam-packed with something else, it is full of that thing, It abounds with that thing. In other words, when we say a room is jam-packed with people, it means that room is full of people. When the train is jam-packed with people, it means there are so many people in that train. There are too many people in that train. In other words, there's a large number of people in that little space and room in a way that there is not any other room or space for other things, for other people or objects. So that place is jam-packed with people or things. An example of this expression: The mall was jam-packed with shoppers during the holiday weekend. The mall was jam-packed with shoppers during the holiday weekend, which means the mall was full of shoppers, was abounding with shoppers during the holiday weekend. There were so many people in the mall going shopping, buying different things, paying a visit to different stores. Why? Because it was a holiday weekend and the mall was jam-packed with people. The mall was full of people and there was not enough space or room for people, for other people. And now we're getting to the final phrase of today's video that you can use to emphasize that there is not enough room or space in a certain place, or a certain place has no other room or space to offer as a result of it being full of things or people, which is to be cooped up with something. To be cooped up with something. When something is cooped up with something else, it is full of something else. It abounds with something else. Let me give you an example. We can't move the cars around because they're cooped up in a small parking area. We can't move the cars around because they're cooped up in a small parking area, which means there are a lot of cars parked in a very small parking area, and we can't move them around because there's not enough space or there's not enough room to move the cars around. And that's about all, guys. Thank you for watching today's video. You learned lots of beautiful, practical, and useful English phrases and expressions that you can use to emphasize that a place is full of people or things, or something is, full of people or things in a way that it has no other space or room to offer. Let's review these phrases once again together. There is not enough room to swing a cat. There is not enough room to swing a cat. To be packed like sardines. To be packed like sardines. To be bursting at the seams. To be bursting at the seams. To be a standing room only. To be a standing room only. To be a standing room only. To be chock-a-block. To be chock-a-block. To be jam-packed with something. To be jam-packed with something. To be cooped up with something. To be cooped up with something. And that's about all. Thank you for watching today's video. Make sure you like this video in support of this channel and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll be back soon with another video.